Hello everyone, this is a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Adelaide, South Australia. So, we're going to deviate from the Old Testament for now because there are a lot of rules and regulations that need much more articulation before I can speak on it. So, I thought I'd begin with the New Testament, which begins with the birth of Jesus Christ, right? With the story starts with Joseph and Mary. Joseph is Jesus' father and Mary is Jesus' mother. Well, Mother Mary was actually a virgin, but she still got pregnant. And Joseph, he was very doubtful of how that happened. He thought that she probably had an extramarital affair and he wanted to divorce her. But then an angel appeared to Joseph, and the angel confirmed Joseph that do not worry about it, a king will be born. And that's how Joseph held on to the faith that everything would turn out okay. It's very interesting, right? When you are in doubt, an angel appears. Well, what do you mean by that? In the Joseph's state is a state of doubt, and an angel appearing in front of Joseph is nothing short of a miracle. And that's very interesting because you might be at the worst phase of your life and an angel appears and a miracle happens, and probably that's good enough to restore your faith in whatever that you were pursuing. Let's go ahead. So the king of that time, King Herod, he heard about Jesus' birth because I think he was told that a king would be born who would be greater than him. So King Herod sent three wise men, the famous three wise men, to Jesus to find about the whereabouts of Jesus. So the three wise men go on their journey and they find Jesus and they give their gifts to Jesus, right? Well, in the dreams of the wise men, they were warned that the king Herod, at that time, he wanted to actually kill Jesus because King Herod was actually threatened by the birth of Jesus Christ. Right? His ego was probably hurt. His authority was threatened when Jesus was born. So the wise men, very interestingly, they listened to the dream and they went to their own different country. Okay, that's very interesting because it can be presumed that the wise men would have been with the King Herod, for the longest time, and they only saw Jesus for a while. Now, what made them make the correct decision of not ratting out a child? Okay, you know, as time goes on, I realize that what helps you establish an excellent relationship is the values based on which you establish that relationship, let's say, because that's what happens if the values are same. There is the probability of going a relationship wrong is very low, because values are what makes up a soul, is the foundation on which a human being stands. It is the guiding light in the darkness. What guides you into throughout life are the values that make you up. Okay, well, what happens when you violate them? There's another story. Even though we are talking about Jesus' birth, we'll talk about there is a story where Judas Iscariot, who was Jesus' disciple, he let go of his values. He sold out Jesus for 30 silver coins. What happened to him? He compromised his values. He sold his values. He sold his soul. That's what selling your soul is. Compromising your values is equivalent to selling your soul. That's what happened. So Judas ended up hanging himself in the field. So that's what happens. It ends up in misery always when you are about to, or when you compromise your values based on which you are living your life. The rules are taken away from you when you compromise your values, and there is God only knows where it's gonna end when you start tearing down every single value that was guiding you throughout life. In my personal life, I've come very close to violating the values, very, very close. And even coming close to destroying the values based on which I am living my life has had major consequences. So that's a good indicator which tells you that probably the values that you hold in you that helps you stand upright and move forward in the righteous path is not to be violated. This is the universal, this is universally true for every single human being. Because you meet people, right, who violated their values, who let go of their values, who took down their values like a domino. And you see those people and you see them sad, even though they're very enthusiastic. If you left them in a room by themselves, they'd actually tear themselves apart because of the things they have done. And it's not even the things that were done, and it's the things that were done due to the compromise of the values that were actually guiding them. It's terrifying. It's terrifying for me. So, and for most of the people, I believe. So, let's go ahead. Okay. So, the wise men had values that of the value of integrity, and they didn't let the whereabouts of the information about the whereabouts of Jesus Christ be leaked to King Herod. Okay, there's a very interesting verse that comes to my mind when I talk about this violating your values. It says in it says in Mark chapter 8, verse 36, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Okay, it means that you can have everything in the world. I'm not just talking about material wealth, right? You can have every single thing in the world, but if not values, if you've lost the values, if you destroyed the foundations on which you operated as a human being, as an entity throughout your life, if you compromise the values which were guiding you forward, it's completely destroyed, then it would end up in misery. Because you see a lot of sad people, they could have everything in the world, but you think that, okay, I would give anything to be in their place, but there is something in their life that still makes them sad. Okay, now I'm not saying that you shouldn't be that kind of person who is tremendously wealthy, right, who's the smartest person. No, it's not like that. It's like when you are aiming, when you're pursuing those things and you get those things, make sure that the values that you hold should still be compact. Upon the destruction of those values is the misery, is hell on earth. Now, why would you want that? Is that the is that the best place for everyone to live? Because look, the consequence of values has a ripple effect. Okay, why is that? Let's say now you have kids. The kids are actually learning from their parents all the time. Now, what if the kids sees their father or mother doing something that violates their value? The kids are gonna think, probably it's okay to cheat people, right? Probably it's okay to give up your integrity for 30 silver coins, like what Judas Iscariot did. And we know, like I described before, how worse it got for Judas Iscariot, that he couldn't keep on living life and he just ended himself. And that's not where we want people to go, right? We want people to have the values that keeps them together, as so that the world's a better place. So human beings are in a constant state of inspiring other human beings, because you and me, everyone, we are the sum of all the people that we've ever met in our entire lives, from childhood till to this day. We learn from people. There's small things that we learn from all the people. It would be better that the people that we spend most of our times with would be the people whose values are at least whose 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 values are in synchronicity with ours. That's better. Because if you spend time people who have different values from you, the problem with that is the relationship that you establish with them is not as strong, because you think differently. It's not even that you think differently, you operate differently. One might think that okay, it's okay to cheat people. No, but you might think, it's not okay to cheat people because it would end you up and the others in misery, and the consequence of cheating people is that you are inspiring that kind of behavior in people close to you. That's very risky. So it's not only limited to you that you destroy the values, and the consequences are not limited to you. It spreads as far as all the people around you. Okay, now what happens then? The world's a worse place, and we don't want that, do we? And in very close relationship of what I just talked, I've got another verse, that's Matthew chapter 3, verse 10. It says, even now the axe is laid to the root of the trees. Every tree, therefore, that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Okay, it says every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and is thrown into the fire. And why not? It's universally true, isn't it? Because if you look at businesses who are not offering the product that is beneficial to the customers in the market, what happens to those businesses? They just go down. It's universally true. If you're not of being benefit to other people, the consequence of that is just misery. Okay, so when you are looking to make your life better, it's better to look at the aspects of you that you can improve so that you can help other people to make their lives better. That is the act of service. Everything that everything every single business, every single person that I've seen around me, and probably you, if you've seen everything that you've seen around you, it's already in the nature around you. It's in the ecosystem. The ecosystem is service, right? One feeds another. So there's an ecosystem that we have created, or it's we have created as a that is the human society, and there's been always been an ecosystem from the start. So it's the act of service, it's the act of bearing good fruit so that you're beneficial to others, so that we can keep on going on. Because that's how we reached here, right? We got these beautiful houses. This was not built by a single person. The bricks were not built by a single person. Every single thing that you see around you, probably 1,000 people's effort went into it. Just if you look around your room, every single thing, probably even more. I would not be surprised, because if even if you look at a plastic toy, well, the someone had to manufacture the plastic, someone had to manufacture the dye, someone had to build the factory, somebody had to build the machines that would go into the factories. So everyone is in a constant effort to bear good fruit so that they are beneficial to the society, so that so that the life that they live is the best possible life that they can manage. And in pursuit of that, probably you'll spread that energy, that you'll probably inspire people to do as good as you or better than you. And fail to see how that would make the world a anything but a better place. Well, guys, it's been a great discussion. I loved it. I hope you would give me a piece of your mind. It would be lovely to listen to a piece of your mind, because I love doing these philosophical discussions, and I like to extend myself to the farthest reaches of my cognitive abilities and see how I can improve along with you. Well, I hope that you guys have an awesome week. I wish you guys all the best.